What's up guys, and welcome to another video. And today we're talking about keyboards, more precisely about mechanical keyboards versus regular membrane keyboards, and whether it's worth buying a mechanical keyboard over a regular one. Let's start with the main difference between the two. On a regular membrane keyboard, when you press the key it passes through a plastic layer with electrical contacts and then through a hole to a second layer that interrupts a circuit register that the key has been pressed. On the other side, a mechanical keyboard uses spring-loaded switches under the keycaps to activate or register the keystroke. It's also worth mentioning that there are several different switches for mechanical keyboards. Some provide a satisfying clicky sound and feel, for example blue switches. And most mechanical keyboards also require a lot less force for the key to be activated compared to regular membrane keys. All mechanical keyboards have something in common though, and that is they all have some kind of tactical feedback. For example, the brown switches, they have a very noticeable tactical feedback. They don't sound that much though compared to blue switches, but the sound is there, meaning that you don't actually have to press the key all the way down. This is called bottoming out keys, compared to regular keys where you have to press them all the way down, without any kind of feedback. Well, you do get, of course, you see on screen that you have pressed the button, but that's all the feedback you get. To actually test if any of this mattered, I grabbed my mom's old Logitech Ultra X Premium keyboard, and the keyboard I use daily, the CM Storm Quickfire TK with brown switches. Worth mentioning is that I use a typing style called touch typing, which basically means that you use all 10 fingers to type without looking at the keyboard. This way I can type relatively fast, around 100 words per minute. The very first thing I noticed when I started using the Logitech, the membrane keyboard, was how hard I had to push the keys to activate them. Like really hard. I felt like I had to force my fingers to get the keys to activate. According to some Reddit posts I found, membrane keyboards tend to have an actuation force of about 70 to 80 grams or so, while the brown switches I'm used to require about 45 grams of force to activate. That's quite the difference. And once I switched back to the mechanical keyboard, I started to really appreciate the little force it took to activate the keys, as well as the tactical feedback I get. And I stopped feeling the strain in my fingers. One thing that should be noticed is that I don't type that much slower on a membrane keyboard. I actually find myself getting less mistypes just because I had to press so hard on the keys to activate them. However, the typing experience was a lot less pleasant. Also worth mentioning is I tried playing a few games, and I felt the same way as I did with typing. I felt that I was forcing my fingers to get the keys to activate. And in games where you're holding a key constantly to move, like most first-person shooters or third-person shooters or something like that, there was definitely a difference. Now, as a conclusion, is a mechanical keyboard worth buying? Yes, I definitely think so, because it gives you a more ergonomic typing style. And if you're someone who writes long essays or play a lot of games or generally spends many hours a day in front of the computer, then I would say go for it. I would almost consider upgrading the keyboard before any other gear, computer gear, just because how much more pleasant it is. And honestly, mechanical keyboards aren't that much more expensive than membrane keyboards anymore. The keyboard I'm using can be bought from Amazon for about 70 to 80 pounds or so. And considering that it will last longer in terms of keys pressed before it will wear out, then it's definitely worth the price. So if you've decided to buy a mechanical keyboard, all there's left is to decide what type of keys you want. I have actually tried most of the common switches, but I have never used them daily as I have with brown switches. Blue switches are really popular, but they are quite loud, so if you're working in an open office, you may want to consider something else. Anyways, I hope you learned something, and if you did, please like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video.